Unit 22. Gateway. Rules can be thought of as formal types of game cues. They tell us the structure of the test, that is, what should be accomplished and how we should accomplish it. In this sense, rules create a problem that is artificial yet intelligible. Only within the rules of the game of, say, basketball or baseball, do the activities of jump shooting and fielding ground balls make sense and take on value. It is precisely the artificiality created by the rules, the distinctive problem to be solved, that gives sport its special meaning. That is why getting a basketball through a hoop while not using a ladder, or pitching a baseball across home plate while standing a certain distance away becomes an important human project. It appears that respecting the rules not only preserves sport, but also makes room for the creation of excellence and the emergence of meaning. Engaging in acts that would be considered inconsequential in ordinary life also liberates us a bit, making it possible to explore our capabilities in a protected environment. Exercise 1. When traveling into the wilderness, the type of gear you carry can either help or hinder your efforts. Specific gear will depend on many factors, which include the environment, weight, and cost. Whenever possible, try to bring gear that has multiple uses. A durable space blanket is a good example. It can be used as an added layer of clothing, a signal, orange side in winter, silver side in summer, a water collection device, and shelter. A military poncho, thick-ply garbage bags, and parachute lines are a few other examples of multi-use items. When bringing gear that operates on batteries, make sure to protect it from cold, soaking moisture, salt corrosion, and sand by wrapping it with a good insulating material and placing it in a waterproof bag. Exercise 2. The French government utilized skiing as a part of its strategies for regional development in the post-Second World War economic reconstruction. Purpose-built ski resorts or ski factories, as some tourism and recreation researchers labeled them because of their emphasis on the mass accommodation of skiers and construction from glass, concrete, and steel, were built in the late 1950s to aid regional development. The combination of demand from a growing mass leisure class and regional development opportunities has driven similar transformations in many of the world's mountain landscapes for the purpose of recreation and tourism. This development demonstrates how previously unused nature may become a resource offering economic opportunities. The main pressure for excessive construction development in mountains is investment plans for the expansion of ski resorts. This process emphasizes that nature only becomes a resource when a human value is placed upon it, typically through the market, thus acquiring an instrumental value that previously did not exist. Exercise 3. Participating in sports is quite different from watching sports. Yet in sports studies, these two activities are often lumped together statistically and anecdotally. Combining them only adds to the confusion of the value of each, leads to suspect conclusions, and interferes with the assessment of the overall influence of sport. For example, many people would rate tackle football as the most popular sport in the United States. Based on spectator interest, this is a reasonable conclusion. But if we look at participation, football is popular only through high school and only with boys. Beyond age 18, tackle football is not a reasonable option due to the number of players required, lack of equipment, and risk of injury. Thus, it is more accurate to say that football is the most popular spectator sport in the United States, but rates far down the list in participation. Exercise 4. The 2008 winners of the annual awards for sustainable tourism all demonstrate that best practice in tourism is far-reaching and extends beyond what was once understood to constitute tourism, mainly just plains, hotels, and beaches. As an example, the winner of the Poverty Reduction Award was an initiative in which both local farmers and tourists benefit. The hoteliers in this award-winning nation have traditionally imported much of their food while ignoring local farmers whose produce was going to waste. Now, 1,000 farmers, most of whom are women, have been helped to supply local hotels. At the same time, the country's Travel Foundation, one of the funding organizations, and the initiative have launched their own farmyard to demonstrate best practice and to become a tourist attraction on its own merits. Taking tourists to the farmyard, for example, is one way in which they can see how their contribution to sustainability is working.